Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. This is I Love You Say It Back. It's a podcast. I'm your host, Vic D. Let's crank it up. Welcome in. This is another episode. I Love You Say It Back. It's a podcast. Once again, I'm your host, Vic D, and we are back at you. These episodes, I feel like, are now just becoming more of like, we're doing these to stay consistent. And if you are watching on YouTube, you notice that, last week we did our first episode in the studio, although the studio is incomplete. And now it's going to take us a few weeks. It's funny. Last week, I was like, we're going to do it this way. And this is the idea that I have in tinkering and seeing some different inspo on IG and things like that. The whole plan has shifted. Last week, this wall was white. And now I was like, you know what? We're going back to black. We're doing it black. I've learned to really embrace this process. And I'm really like, instead of being like self-conscious about the whole thing, it's just like, no, this is fun. I think by next week or within the next 2 weeks, this place is going to look really good. And I'm excited to show you and just kind of take you through a whole tour of the entire studio. And I'm actually really excited. So today I literally just finished painting this thing. I had shorts on. The only thing I changed was just threw on some shorts. Like I said, I was painting this thing. That was only layer one, so we're gonna do 2 coats. So that was coat number 1. I'll probably do the coat number 2 after we finish recording this real quick. I'm sitting on the chair. I didn't want to bring in obviously to paint the thing, I don't want to get our white couch full of black paint. So I took it out and I was like, you know what? I'm using this thing in here. I was like, I'm not gonna move. Again, I'm sitting on a little 2-step ladder and just, I'm having a ball. I have no second thoughts about this whole thing. So glad you're with us. I got a couple things that we need to address. We talked about new listeners from the podcast tour and everything. One thing, and I wrote it down on my notes, I was like, make sure you do this. I have to be a lot better about this. So hold me accountable if I start to not do it. Hold me accountable when I forget to tell you. Almost every episode, I got to tell you, like, hey, like us, share us. Subscribe on YouTube, subscribe on Spotify, Apple Music, whatever it is that you listen to on, please subscribe. That helps us grow. That helps you stay up to date with every episode, that we drop. And yeah, so make sure subscribe, YouTube, on Instagram at ILYSayItBackPod, everywhere you can find us. Make sure to subscribe, do all that good stuff, please. And tell your friends. That means a lot. I've been doing some research on podcast growth and things like that. And it's just like, when I listen to podcasts and I feel like I've heard it after, I feel like it comes in one ear and out the other, but there's a reason why they tell you to stay consistent with that stuff. I sometimes forget to say, sometimes I'm like, they don't need to hear that. But we have new people every time. So if we can get one more subscriber, one more person to stay consistent with it, that's huge, because then that one person can tell another person. And please share these podcasts. I think we've hit a really nice growth spurt. And I was having a conversation with this gentleman. I'm getting off topic, but this is a cool part of this podcast. I went to Hoagie's Sunday night and I met a gentleman who did a podcast. He wasn't on the podcast. He did their website and he did some stuff for this podcast. And they grew it to a solid, it was a local podcast. And he's asking me about what I do, how long I've been doing it, and all these things. And I was telling him about the way I do things. And he's like, stay consistent with these things. And I was like, I drop every single Thursday. We don't miss unless, the last time I missed, I was sick, so we couldn't do that. But other than that, every Thursday, you can rely on a podcast being in your Spotify or wherever you listen to your podcast. So I'm really proud of that, because when I first stepped in, I was like, if I'm not consistent, I'm not going to do this. I'm not here to joke around. I'm not here to, obviously you're here to joke around. I'm not here to just be, just here for a short time or just mess around or just do it to say I have a podcast. No, I legitimately want to do this. So he was like, you're by yourself, you're being consistent, you're doing the video aspect. He said that with the podcast with the other people, he said that what I'm doing, there was like 3 or 4 people doing everything, the video aspect, the audio aspect, the editing, the Twitter, the Instagram, the clips, the reels, the TikToks. He said it was like a 5-man crew. And I was like, dude, 1, that shows that we need to add some people to the crew. And 2, it makes me proud of what we've started. Now, I didn't start this alone. I got to credit producer Eric for a lot of our growth and everything. So it hasn't been alone, but lately, since we moved out of that studio, it has been like pretty much on my own. So I'm proud of the fact that the work that we did was like a 3 to 4 man, 5 if you really want to do, even better. But eventually we'll get there. And you liking and subscribing and sharing and talking to your people about it is going to help us get there. So that's thing number 1. Thing number 2, Earth Day event. They just announced on Instagram that I'm going to be out there and doing some guest emceeing, and I'm going to have a booth. And the other part that I needed to get with you tomorrow. So I'm recording this on Tuesday, and tomorrow I'm going to be heading up to Los Angeles to go. I have a meeting with some people for merch stuff and just kind of get some ideas, look at some stuff, and then just kind of browse around on my own, just see if there's anything that I like, just kind of on my own. So new merch is on the way. I cannot be more excited. I feel like it's been a while. Last time you guys sold me out in, it was like under a week. Then we had like just random like ones that were like pieces that weren't necessarily for sale. But other than that, we were sold out really quick. So I hope that you guys really like the new stuff that we're going to have for you. And I'm excited. Los Angeles, and I'm just kind of excited to get out there and just see more things. Hats for sure. Expect hats and shirts and stuff like that is a maybe. But I know hats for sure are on the way. So be looking out for that. I'll keep you posted on everything. Follow us again on @IOYSayItBackPod Instagram page. Got a couple things that we need to address. I want to one more thing. I know we have a lot of business things to address first. I wrote this down on the last podcast, but I actually didn't get around to it because we just had so much going on. But I wanted to say thank you for all the birthday wishes for my mom. My mom's birthday was as of this recording, it was like, I don't know, it was the 23rd of March. And a lot of you via Instagram, when I posted about it, they're like, oh, you saying very nice things to your mom. Happy birthday. And I just wanted to tell you that means a lot to me that you guys, like we're saying, hey, happy birthday. I think everybody listening, I hope you guys feel special on your birthdays. And when you tell me happy birthday, I know how it makes me feel. Like people deserve to feel happy on their birthday. And you guys said some very nice things to my mom, and I showed her a couple of them, and she was like, oh, stop it. And I bet it's one of those like things that like, I know you feel good about the compliments and people tell you like, oh, I thought it was your sister. Like women love that stuff. They're like, oh, so you're saying I look young? And I was like, yeah, whatever, but I had to share that stuff because I wanted her to feel nice. And she did. So thank you. And that was very special. And I love this little community to where I feel like me and you were friends more so than anything. Me and you were just hanging out. We're taking this journey and we're learning along the way. And you get to know my family and my nephews and my mom and my little brother and my sister and just people where it's like, oh, when I post them, it's like, yeah, I know them, and it's very cool. So made me feel special that you guys made my mom feel special. So thank you so much for giving her those birthday wishes. Let's get into the show. Wanted to talk about a couple things that have been going on in pop culture. This echoey thing, this is more echoey now than it was last week because I removed the couch. Let me just give you a quick little update. So we're making this black, as you can see. We're making this wall, depending on how things look when we do some other stuff, that may or may not stay white. We might go black on that too. But we're going to add some paneling here. I still have the artificial hedges, which may go up here. I may put a guitar up here. There was just so many different inspirations things that I've seen lately. It's like I had an idea and I was like, no, we're switching it. And right now is the time to do it. And I'm really excited for The original plan was cool. It was like, let's just get it. Let's have a studio. We're going to be sick. I'm putting in flooring. We decided to go with flooring, decided to go with some wood paneling, decided to go with some shelves, decided to go with black paint, decided to go with some hedges, and there's just more on the way. So I think we would have been more done with the studio. We're going to remove and clean up the I'm blanking out on the name, but these things right here, the edges of the bottom, the baseboard, and it's gonna look beautiful. So let's get into the show because I actually got to get back to this. So I got a couple things, big things that have been going on. Today is April 1st. Now, when this comes out, it's gonna be tomorrow. Wednesday is gonna be the 3rd. Tuesday, April 1st. Today, April Fool's. Wednesday the 2nd. Thursday the 3rd, which is when you're going to listen to this. Here's my thing about April Fools. Let's talk about this. When was the last time you actually got by an April Fool's prank? I have a theory on this. Nobody falls for that anymore. April Fools is dead. Ask yourself, when was the last time you truly were like pranked? You're like, someone came to you with a lie on April 1st, and you were like, oh, no way. April Fool's is dead. Nobody's doing it. Kids aren't doing it. Adults aren't doing it. People older than myself aren't doing it. No matter what the age group. You know why? It's just too predictable. Why wouldn't I do it the day before, the day after, or something? I mean, granted, it's not April Fool's Day, which is the whole point of this whole thing. But if I tell you, like, hey, this day is all about pranks, nobody believes anything on that. I've seen sports news. Oh, Justin Jefferson got traded to the Jaguars. George Kittle got traded to here. Oh, restaurants are going to add menu items that are just absolutely disgusting and crazy. I remember there was an energy drink that was coming out with like a snail flavored something, and everybody's like, yeah, well, it's April 1st. We're not really going to believe that. And nobody, like, April Fool's is dead. Nobody believes any news today, so nobody gets got anymore. I don't remember the last true time that I fell for anything on April Fool's. We're all walking on our toes. We're all like on edge. We're like, yeah, I'm not believing that. Your sister or your wife or someone in your life could be like, I'm pregnant. And you'd be like, yeah, right. Which brings me to my next point. Here's the thing. April Fool's is dead because nobody falls for anything on this day. We know it's coming. We know what this whole day is about. It's about making jokes and about this and that. But my theory on this is all other reason why it's dead is because if you do get somebody, right? I'm not saying it's impossible to get people. I'm saying you can get people. But that's when the joke just goes too far. You have to involve breaking up with somebody, divorcing somebody. I'm not even going to say trading your favorite player to another team because nobody's going to believe that. But you have to fire someone. You have to do something dramatic to where it's like everyone's going to watch and be like, yeah, it's kind of fucked up. April Fool's is dead. If you get someone, it's going to be because you took it to the extreme and you're like, and everybody around you is going to be like, damn, big, it's just April Fool's, like, chill. But if you don't go to that length, then no one's going to fall for it. So what are you going to do? Are you going to take it too far? Or are you just going to be like, yeah, no one's falling for this? You know what we should do? We should take like a 3 to 4 year hiatus on April Fool's and just come back one day and be like, yeah, we're going to almost forget about it. That's the only way we can even save it. But April Fool's is dead. Nobody's falling for that anymore, which is kind of sad. But it's actually surprising that it took this long for us to get to this point. Even real news, I was watching I was on Instagram earlier today, and I think it was like an ESPN account that said, you know, they're like, oh, the NFL owners have decided to blank, and it was like legitimate news. They're like, hey, because they're having the meetings all right now, and everyone just goes in the comment section and is like, is this a prank? It's like everybody's on edge, even with real news, you know. So April Fool's is dead. We got to move on to something else. We got to figure something else out. All right, one of the other stories is, did you see Morgan Wallen walking out of SNL It looked like he wanted nothing to do with anybody that was there. He said goodbye to whoever that co-host was. And it's been going viral. It's been all over the news. He does SNL this past weekend, and it's tradition, right? So they go in there and they say, hey, thank you for watching. Y'all have a great night, whatever. And then the camera zooms out, the applause comes on, and then they say goodbye and high five and say, hey, great show, everybody. Congratulations. Well, instead, he just says, he turns to his left, says bye to the girl that's next to him, and he just storms off. Minutes later, he's at his private jet, and he just posts a picture on Instagram that says, take me back to God's country. So people are like, oh, yeah, that's kind of rude. Why is he doing that? He clearly made it obvious that he didn't want to be there. And here's the thing. So they're saying, we talked about kind of trying to get to the root of this, and everybody's like, got these TikToks and everything. It actually makes sense because if you think about it, back in 2020? It was during COVID, where the whole thing was still kind of brand new, but they were still expecting people to wear masks. Well, remember the story? Morgan Wallen refused to wear a mask, and he was slated to be on SNL. He was going to be on SNL. They asked him to wear a mask. He did not want to wear a mask. But that same weekend leading up to it, he was at a college party, and there was videos and pictures of him making out with different women. Which, hey, I'm not here to argue that, but hey, do you, baby? But when you're doing a show that's that big and they have those rules, and you are saying like, hey, I don't really care. I'm not saying whether he's right or wrong. I'm just saying like, hey, what happened? I understand why they had to take him off. I understand like, hey, we're going into a pandemic. We've never really been here before. We don't have precedent for this or how to handle this. All we can do is just try to be it's easy to look at COVID and everything. Like now, a lot of the stuff that we did was stupid. Like it looks stupid. It sounds stupid. Saying it out loud sounds stupid. All these things. I agree with that. But in the moment, we just didn't know. So it's easy to be like, look at you idiots. And it's like, well, at the time, we didn't know what it could have been. So it's like you walking into a dark room and you're scared for your life. It's the middle of the night and you're like, I don't know, I got to be prepared. I got to bring a gun. I got to do this. And it's just like, and then you go in there and it's like, yeah, there was nothing there. And then you walk out and they're like, yeah, you look like an idiot. You were scared. Yeah, but you didn't know what was in that room before you went in there. So a lot of you guys would want to be cautious rather than unprepared. So that was the whole situation. And here's the truth of that whole SNL Morgan Wallen situation. I understand why SNL had to take him off, but I also understand why Morgan Wallen didn't want to be on it. They are so big, SNL and Morgan Wallen, right? They're both massive names in the entertainment world. SNL's been around for I don't know how many years. To be honest with you, I've never watched an episode of SNL. Like I've seen skits and things on YouTube and bits from it, but I've never been like an SNL guy. I enjoy comedy and all that stuff, but SNL has never really done it, although I do want to get into it. Besides the point, SNL is massive, right? Morgan Wallen may be the hottest thing in country music right now. So they had a little bit of beef, but I also understand that these two things and these two entities are both massive brands, and it's rare when massive brands can benefit from each other. Can SNL benefit from having Morgan Wallen because he's the biggest name in country? Abso-freaking-lutely. Can Morgan Wallen benefit because SNL has got a massive following, been around for years? Absolutely. Does it change the fact that, hey, it's a business decision? We want to poo-poo and shit on it, and the truth is, it's like, it's a business choice. I may not like you, you may not like me, we may not agree on things, but we both know that it's going to be good for business. It's this Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce deal. I'm introducing you to a whole new world. Football fans are the furthest thing from Swifties, and Swifties are the furthest thing from football fans. When you bridge that gap and you bring those two worlds together, it's mutually beneficial. You don't have to be friends. You don't have to stay friends. Do it. Get the hell out of there. I will say the memes that have come out from this Morgan Wallen "Get Me Back to God's Country" post on Instagram have been hilarious. People are posting like old Chuck E. Cheese's, and they're like, "Get me back to God's country." Old Chuck E. Cheese's. What's another one? They're posting like the old McDonald's. Like, you know, have you seen those videos? Like, they show new McDonald's. They look very corporate and professional. And they show the ones, the McDonald's when we were little kids, and they had the real Happy Meals. They had the Play Place, the Ronald McDonald, colors everywhere. And they were like, "Take me back to God's country," old McDonald's and Play Places, which is kind of weird too. Like, what the hell's going on with corporate McDonald's? It looks too professional. Where's the happy place? So that's my whole take. I don't care for SNL. I love Morgan Wallen. But I also understand. So part of the reason why he also was slated or was scratched off from that was because of what happened with when the Ring doorbell camera caught him saying those things. It was massive controversy. So it was the Ring doorbell thing, and then it was the COVID mask situation. You understand why they have to protect their own brand as well. And Morgan Wallen can be like, "Well, you guys took me off. I'll do it because it's a good business choice, but that doesn't mean I got to stick around." So we all overthink it, and at the end of the day, this has been one of the fact that I'm talking about it, the fact that the podcast and the news outlets that I listen to are talking about it. It's all great for business. You know who's winning? Everybody. They are. The news outlets. This podcast, we're benefiting it from making a topic out of it. So there's no real losers in here. All right, what else do we got here? This is, you see, if you're watching on YouTube, I got my, I'm sitting on a little ladder chair, and instead of having my normal yellow legal pad, I wrote down my, I didn't bring it today, so I have this book that I was given to me at Nueva Vista Language Academy, a school that I recently read at, and they always give you some sweet little goodies, so I'm always going to be returning there, and they have tacos. And they gave me this sweet little book. So I wrote my notes in here, and I've been journaling in this one, which could be a topic in itself. I got back to journaling recently, and I feel like it hasn't helped yet. Normally you're like, "Yeah, I started journaling and I feel so much better." I used to journal and I used to write a lot, but I got so far away from it that I'm getting back in it, and I'm almost like overthinking what I'm doing. And I'm like, "Well, do I want to say this? Do I want to not say this?" As if any of this is going to ever get out. It's like, this is your private thing. And the way it's supposed to be, it's like you just take your thoughts and put them on a piece of paper, and it gives you another way to kind of analyze your feelings and expressions and all that stuff. So it's practice. It's kind of like meditation. But I had this, so I was like, "Oh, perfect. I'll write it down on here." What do we got here? This is an episode called I got some good news and I got some bad news. And this could also be my shut the fuck up of the week. Here's my shut the fuck up of the week. And you got to stay with me because this is going to happen fast. Reports come out. Sydney Sweeney, the actress, is single. All the fellas rejoice. "Oh, hell yeah." And every guy at the bar with a beer belly is like, "Hey, fellas, we got a chat. Hey, Sydney Sweeney, what do you say? I just got to run into her." Every guy thinks he's got a chance with Sydney Sweeney. We're all celebrating like we're going to have any chance in hell of getting her. By the way, Sydney, if you happen to see this, holler at me. See, that's what I mean. Like every dumb guy is like, "Yeah." But then literally, I don't even know how, like I saw it maybe 24 hours. It couldn't have been more than 24 or 48 hours. So it was announced that she split up with her fiance. Apparently I didn't even know she was in a relationship, much less she was fiancéed. So the wedding's off. Reportedly, the relationship is off. And again, we're all celebrating. But before we're even done cheering, there's a new piece of information that comes out that she was like at Glenn Powell's like sister's wedding or something like that, something along those lines. And they came out with a movie together. So there's obviously that connection. There's that chemistry because they were romantically involved in this movie. And I don't even remember what the name of the movie is. But it was it Just Go With? No, I can't remember that. But everybody knows what I'm talking about. And it just ruins everybody's hope. It's like, she broke up with her fiance. She is no longer engaged. Oh, and by the way, hey, settle down because she's now dating like one of the hottest guys on earth. So it's like, man, at least let us enjoy it for, give us a full like 20, 24, 48, 72 hours, 76 hours, whatever. Give us some time here. Give us some time. Let us enjoy. Let our dumb brains at least go through the weekend and be like, Sydney Sweeney, I'm gonna shoot her a couple DMs. I'm gonna spam her DMs, and maybe she's gonna respond. Boys, this is my chance. But it's like, Glenn Powell, shut the fuck up. But she's single, and who knows for how much longer. What do we got here? Okay. I have to talk about this because I don't know what's in the air right now. I don't know what's going on, but the inspiration for new music has produced some incredible new music. Whatever's going on, whatever heartbreaks you're going through, whatever people are just whatever, it's bringing great music to our ears. And I wanted to highlight a couple songs that it's been the last maybe 2 to 3 weeks have just been fantastic. And it's funny, like you go through things and it's just like, man, there's a song that I feel like I haven't had like a good heartbreak, sad, which are my favorite. Even when I'm happy, even when I'm like, when everything's going great, heartbreak songs are the best. But I feel like whatever's going on, whatever's in the air, whatever is... And right now is the time that people are coming out with their like summer jams, right? Getting ready for summer, heading into it. There's been a really good crop of songs that have come out. I'll start with this one. This is called What I've Been Bumpin', What I'm Bumpin'. We used to do this on the radio. I got to bring this back more consistently, What I'm Bumpin'. It was just songs that I'm listening to over the last couple weeks that have been new releases. So I talked about it last week. Ryan Hurd, the entire album, it has been nonstop. I guarantee that's going to show up on my Spotify Wrapped for sure. It would already be on my Spotify Wrapped. This is called this new one, and I'll be honest with you, this is the first time I'm hearing about these artists. They're called Ty Myers and Harper O'Neill, and it's a brand new song called Help Ourselves. Check it out. It's a good song, good smooth jam. And speaking of smooth jam, this is the smoothest jam that has come out of 2025 so far. This one and like Love Somebody by Morgan Wallen, just the same type of like Spanish guitar vibe, it's so good. It's called Spanish Moss, and it's by Cole Swindell, written, I think produced. My boy Devin Dawson had a huge part in this. I think he was able to fully produce this song in the way that he wanted to do it. And Devin Dawson, we talked about artists who, Ryan Hurd should sell his soul. I just feel like more people need to know about Devin Dawson. His album, Dark Horse, one of the greatest albums I've ever heard. It's in my top 5. And maybe another guy who should consider selling his soul. We need more Devin Dawson. But he's been doing a lot of work with songwriting, with, I guess now producing, directing, composing. And I think that's what he did on this one. They gave him full control over this thing. And the result, one of the smoothest songs of 2025. I love collabs between like different worlds. For example, this one makes me really proud because it's Cody Johnson, country, hot. He's hot in the country world. And then you have Karin Leon, he's a Spanish artist he did Stagecoach. He was the first like Hispanic artist to do Stagecoach. And now he's got this song with Cody Johnson. It's called She Hurts Like Tequila. An absolute jam. Karin, I'll be honest with you, I'm not a big Spanish music guy, but it brings me so much pride and joy to see a true Mexican artist. He did this. He did his part in Spanish. I love that. My little Mexican heart and soul. Like, I didn't learn English until like 4th grade heart. It brings me so much warmth to see those, because Cody Johnson's like way on one end. It's not like who's like a Nico Moon who's kind of in the middle, a little hip hop, a little country, a little. Cody Johnson's as country as it gets, like true country. Karin Leon is on the Hispanic side. I don't know. Forgive me for butchering whatever genre it is. Regional, I'm not sure. But he's got the Spanish community in a chokehold right now, and just two of the biggest stars in their respective genres combining for this song. She Hurts Like Tequila, banger. This one's a fun one, and I think it's it should be a anthem for women. It's called Drunk Girls in Bathrooms, and it's Maddie and Tay. And it's exactly what the title suggests it is. Drunk girls in bathrooms. You know how essentially saying, like, if we had more girls that treated each other the way that drunk girls in bathrooms treat each other, the world would just be a much better place. It's full of encouragement. It's full of, girl, you don't need him. Girl, that dress looks incredible. Girl, it's just such a fun song. I could listen to it as a guy and be like, that's a damn good song. This is entertaining. So just whatever is inspiring, whatever, I don't know, something in the weather, something going on. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to listen to those songs and just keep staying inspired, because we are loving the new music that's coming out. What else we got here? Okay, there was a Ashton Hall. If the name sounds familiar, it's not because of his football career. It's because of his viral morning routine. Have you guys been seeing this? So he's a fitness influencer. He's a former college or maybe even pro. I don't know if he made it to the pro level. I think he was like a 4th string in college, so he didn't make it to the pro level. But long story short, very successful in the fitness world on Instagram. And he came out with his morning routine. It's funny because that video he actually posted last month, or actually in February, since it's now April. And it was just another video, but suddenly, like, he's doing the whole, like, dip your face in ice water. He's doing the whole rub banana peel on your face. He's doing the whole workout. He's doing and the timing of all this stuff is just absolutely, like, there's a scene, I think, where he jumps in the pool, and as he's in the air, like 4 minutes elapsed. And it was just like, yeah, this guy spent 4 minutes in the air. Like, the timing of all this stuff. And he's jumping on like meetings, like calls. And he's like, well, we got to order 10,000 of them. And we're like, 10,000 of what? But that's how people make it seem like, we're mega successful in doing things here. So, that went viral. His morning routine, you do push-ups. He's jacked. He's huge. So everybody started talking about, like, oh, like this morning routine, replicating their own, making fun, viral reels and all that stuff. And I just got me thinking about, like, how morning routines are so, I want to be a morning routine guy. I do. Like, this isn't me like saying like my morning routine is so inconsistent, because so much of where I am right now in life is so inconsistent. There's times where I don't have a morning routine because I don't sleep. If I have to do something at 10 a.m. and I'm going to sleep at 6, 7, there's times where I'll just choose to stay up and do something until that's not a morning routine. Then there's times where I have like the podcast, so I'll clear out the morning, and then I can go to sleep and I wake up. You know what I do? Like, my morning routine, which is it's just all over the place. I guess it's more of like, I wake up, I check my messages, I check my messages and social media. Those are the things that I look at, like, first, no doubt. There's zero doubt about it. And a lot of people are like, I'll wake up and I go, just like, no. I'm in there checking that stuff, seeing what I missed, seeing what's going on, seeing what people are up to, seeing what's the hot topics of the day. And then if I tend to have time, like lately I've been doing a lot more workouts in the morning. I've been trying to split up my running and my workouts. I've been doing too much running. enjoy. I've said it a million times. I don't enjoy the running aspect. Like I'm not a runner. And I remember I felt the best when I was actually doing weights, and I got away from the weights just because I was trying to, just log more miles and do this and that. But morning routines are unique. I feel like they're a low key, like a little bit of a luxury. So if you're a person who has that morning routine, I feel like that's another little bit of something that you don't have to worry about. And so much of the luxuries in life are predictability. It's why we love shows like Friends. It's why we love to fall asleep to The Office. It's why we love to fall asleep. I love to fall asleep. If I have the TV on, it's on SportsCenter. I'm just falling asleep. Although that makes it hard because then I'm watching the highlights. Even though it's like SportsCenter after a certain time is just the same episode like over and over again. And I'm like, well, I need to watch these highlights, especially if I hit a bet. I'll watch those highlights all day. And I'm like, yep. And that's when the over hit, baby. And that's when I covered the spread. And so, yeah, just morning routines are unique. I would love to sit down and just talk with everyone and maybe have a thing like, I want to know what your morning routine is. So hit me up on IG at Victy Radio or at ILYSABackpod. I want to know, like, do you have a morning routine? Is that something that you incorporate in your life? And if so, a lot of you guys have kids. So your morning routines revolve around them. I got to get them ready to go to school. I got to make them their breakfast. I got to make them their lunch. I got to take them here. I got to, so it revolves around so much of their schedule and things like that. So morning routines is just wild. But the dude's jacked. So when you're jacked, you can do whatever the hell you want. I wanted to say this. This is my little sports section as I'm getting ready to wrap this up. I want to say this really quick. So, Torpedo bats, baseball. Baseball kicked off, and one of the biggest controversies that has been going on is the New York Yankees using these so-called torpedo bats. And they look like a bowling pin. Just to sum it up as best as I can, what they essentially did is take parts of the bat and put it more towards the label of the bat. So essentially giving you a bigger sweet spot in a way. So the Yankees have been raking with them, right? They've been hitting home runs left and right, putting up hella runs and all these things that are going on, right? Fantastic. The problem is, and I actually love this. The problem that people have, because people are calling it cheating. They're cheating. It's like, no, not really. It's all within the rules. So they didn't really break anything. They just adjusted things within the rules to favor them a little bit. And in fact, I don't even think they were the first ones to do it. They're just the ones who are raking with it. So now the New York Yankees do something. It attracts news more so than if the freaking Kansas City Royals were doing it. Which brings me to my next point. Torpedo bats are a big issue, not because they're working, not because people are considering, that's cheating. Torpedo bats are making people uncomfortable because it's the New York Yankees. Folks, if the Cincinnati Reds broke out these torpedo bats and they were raking with them, they were hitting home runs, they're putting up 12 runs a game and going crazy, you know what you would be doing? You would be celebrating the genius, the ingenuity of the Cincinnati Reds. You would be saying, small market, the little guy. We love the little guy being smart about they don't have the money to go buy these players and, but it's the Yankees. I can't say I'm not a Yankee fan. I'm a Dodger fan. But I can also tell you objectively that this has nothing to do with the torpedo bat itself. It's that it's working for a team that you either love or you hate. There's a few teams like this: the Los Angeles Lakers, the Dallas Cowboys, the New York Yankees, the LA Dodgers. You either love them or you hate them. So when there's any type of smart thing that they do or thing that they are ahead of, remember when the Tampa Bay Rays did the defensive shift? They moved players all over. They were like, what? Did anybody come out, cry, and say they're cheating? No, they were genius. They were ahead of the game. Defensive shift. They're smarter than you. These are analytics. The Yankees do something to favor their bats and it's working. It's cheating. We don't like it. No, you don't like the Yankees. Your team can do it too. These are legal. They're not doing it. The Astros were doing something illegal. Those are grimy. Those guys are fucking clowns. They were banging on drums telling you what pitch is coming next. That's grimy. What the New York Yankees are doing is only making you uncomfortable because you do not like the Yankees. And they're polarizing. And you know what? The best thing that could happen in baseball right now is torpedo bats. New York Yankees. It's a big deal. We're talking about it. Sports world's talking about it. Everybody's got an opinion. I play baseball with these boys. We're talking about it. And it's a great thing if you love the sport. America's pastime needed a controversy like this. And it's got the big brand of the Yankees. It's got a little cheating scandal, although, again, I don't believe it's cheating. And it's even got a sweet name. You've got to have a sweet name for these things. Give me the torpedo bat. How easy is that? Torpedo bat. Rings. It's a little earworm. What else do we got here? Oh, I read this fun fact. I'm going to leave you guys with 2 fun facts before we wrap this up. Because I saw these right before I even took a screenshot so that I wouldn't forget. Okay, listen to this. Here's a little in case you didn't know. In case you didn't know. In case you didn't know, the word avocado comes from the Aztec word aguacat, which means testicle. And if you think about it, it actually, you're like, damn, that makes sense. These people are creative with these names. I will never eat an avocado the same way. I'm just going to look at it and I'm going to be like, damn. They nailed it. They nailed it. Let's talk about ice cream. Haagen-Dazs. Haagen-Dazs has no meaning in any language, and the word was only made up to sound expensive. Haagen-Dazs. 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 I'm not sure if that is that German. I said it like in a German thing, but yeah, those 2 things popped up on my end. I was like, those are worth mentioning. Haagen-Dazs has no meaning. I always thought it meant something. I was like, oh, it's just going to be above my pay grade and above anything I know. Haagen-Dazs has no meaning in any language, just made up to sound expensive. And the word avocado comes from the Aztec word aguacat, which means testicle. And they absolutely nailed it. Once again, thank you guys for rocking with us. Make sure you guys are checking us out. Subscribe on IG. Subscribe on Instagram. Subscribe. I said IG and Instagram. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe everywhere. Tell your friends, please, friends, family. We got more merch on the way. Keep up with us on everything. I'm going to try to do some videos while I'm out there tomorrow in LA. And yeah, so this will drop on Thursday. Earth Day coming up. Make your plans. April 19th, I'm going to be out there doing some MC stuff. We're going to have a booth. Hopefully got some merch out there. And we will talk soon. I love you. Say it back. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys again for putting up with the studio. We're in the middle of this whole process. And I kind of want to bring you along as we do this whole thing. So very exciting stuff. I love you. Say it back. It's going to take different shape. Going to look different as we go on. And I can't wait for y'all to see it. Y'all sleep good. Que soy con los angelitos. I love you. Say it back. Peace.